Hello, we're going now to explore using .dev on GitHub if you don't have your own computer and you're using a library computer. So here we are on our backlog. Let's go to our coursework repo, which we can find by clicking this link. It's going to take us to all of the issues. We want to look at the code. And to open .dev, we can just press the dot or full stop or period on the keyboard. That's going to open GitHub.dev and then CodeYourFuture module onboarding. Okay, we can do that on any repo on GitHub, but for our case, we don't want to do it on the CodeYourFuture repo. We want to do it on our own repo, our fork, our own copy on our own GitHub. So we're going to press fork. We're going to make sure the owner is Sally McGrath. And we're going to create that fork. We can see now that I'm on my own GitHub because the link has changed to Sally McGrath from CodeYourFuture. And we can see that that's a fork because it says here it's forked from CodeYourFuture onboarding. And that's a link. I could go back. So here I am on my coursework repo on my own GitHub account. And I'm going to once more press the dot to open .dev. We can see that the link has changed to github.dev instead of github.com. It's opened and it's showing me the preview of the README. Each folder has a README and we should always read the README. Okay, it's telling me to do the prep. I've already done the prep. Well done me. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to open our source control. And we want to open a branch. Create a branch. We want to always create our branch from main. Feature wireframe. And I'm going to create that branch from main. It's going to tell me that I've created the new branch, feature wireframe. Any uncommitted change will be applied to new branch. Do I want to switch to the new branch? Yes, I do. I want to switch to that branch. We can tell I'm in that branch because we can see that the URL has changed to feature wireframe. It no longer says just onboarding, it says I'm in the feature wireframe branch. Now I can make my changes. So I can go into wireframe and I can look at the README. I can actually preview this README if I wanted to make it a bit easier to read. Okay, so it's giving me some learning objectives. It's giving me some acceptance criteria. And it's giving me some resources, some help. So let's look around and see where to start. So I think the first thing I need to do is I need to write these articles. So I'm going to make a new file. And I'm just going to write my articles so that I can edit them and make them, make them as good as I can be before I move on to the next task. So I'm going to paste in my articles. And I'm going to write in Markdown, but you could write in HTML or you could write in plain text. What is the purpose of a README file? Well, how do I find out what I think the purpose of README file is? I'm going to Google what is the purpose of a README file. GitHub is going to tell me what the purpose of a README file is. You can add a README file to your repository to tell other people why your project is useful, what they can do with your project, and how they can use it. Okay, great. Okay, I'm now going to save that. As we can see here, that is added. I'm going to go back to my version control. I have a pending change. I want to stage that change by clicking Stage Changes. And then I'm going to make my commit message. So I'm going to commit and I'm going to push. I'm going to push that change to my branch. That's directly now on GitHub. And I can see that change by going back to GitHub. Let's just have a look back on the website. Looks like my feature wireframe had recent pushes 21 seconds ago. It's showing up here. If I click on this link, it's going to take me to that change. Great. So I'm going to go back now. I'm going to work through this entire project. I'm going to write my answers to these questions. I'm going to write the HTML and I'm going to start testing my code. Now, how do I look at what I'm doing? How do I preview my work when I only have a library computer and I can't look at my local files? I can use the disposable branch preview on Netlify. It's all set up for me. So I'm going to go back to my I'm going to open a pull request. I'm going to open my pull request and I'm going to write I'm going to fill in all of these details. Okay, I've titled it like that. Then I've committed my files one by one on purpose for a reason. Yep, I've done that. I have titled my PR. Yep, I've done that. I've tested my changes. I have not yet tested my changes. My changes follow the style guide. Yep. And my changes meet the requirements of the task. They don't yet meet the requirements for the task. Change list, briefly explain your PR. I'm going to say, I am opening this to preview my website. I will mark this PR and I don't have any questions right now. I will have questions later. I'm going to click Create. And now it's taking me to my pull request. Now, I'm not going to do anything else with this apart from go and look at that pull request. And how do I find that? Well, it's telling me where it is. Here's my pull request. And here's my deploy preview, which is processing. Here's my deploy preview. I'm going to click it. And it's going to give me a link to my wireframe. Now, no changes have yet been made to this file, but I can look at this is my version. It's connected to my pull request. So any changes that I make in that branch and push to that branch will be reflected here. So you can interact with this as if it was on your local. It will just always be pushed. There's a slight delay. But that's how that works. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I'll see you soon.